Today's how to build is on a 3-dimensional 8-bit Link from The Legend of Zelda. Hey everybody, before I start showing the building instructions, I'm going to do a few quick updates. If you want to skip ahead to the building instructions, use the table of contents in the video description. I'm super excited to share with you this new build that I just did of Link from The Legend of Zelda. The Legend of Zelda for the original Nintendo Entertainment System was one of my favorite games of all time. It was the very first video game I owned myself, saved up some money to buy it from a friend, and I have just always been a huge fan of the Legend of Zelda series. And a couple weeks ago, as you probably know, Nintendo just released The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and oh my god, it is like the most amazing video game I've ever played. I'm just in love with the game. It has just got a massive scope. You can do so much right from the get-go. I was just so impressed with this game. I wanted to do some kind of tribute, so I made this classic version of Link at a gigantic size to kind of honor the gigantic size of Breath of the Wild. As a model, I used this Amiibo that they did for the 30th anniversary last year. So basically, I took this Amiibo form, which is basically the original 8-bit sprite, but kind of reimagined in 3 dimensions. So rather than these being pixels, these would technically be voxels, which is a 3-dimensional pixel idea. But yeah, I used this little model here and basically scaled it up to an enormous size to do the Lego version. This is one of the biggest things I've ever built out of Lego. You can see just my minifig Link is absolutely dwarfed by that giant pixel Link. I also just wanted to remind all of you that I've got a couple events coming up in April. I will be doing a series of events in and around the Philadelphia area. One in Doylestown and a couple at Philly Brickfest Live. You can see all the details about those events on my website, brick101.com/events. And I've also got events in the Chicago area coming up in June. So if you want to come meet me and see some of these things in person, be sure to check out my live events. All right, let's get down to building Link. Before I get into the detailed building instructions, I wanted to show off a couple things that I built into this model, aside from it just being a giant 8-bit sprite in 3 dimensions of Link. I made a couple choices along the way. So one of the main choices I made is that the head comes off really easily from the rest of the body. I did that just as I was building it. The head was already a huge piece I had built, and I didn't want to have to continuously be building the body and the head at the same time because it just gets really big at that point. And then also the nice advantage of that is that the inside is hollow. There's an empty space going all the way through right now, but I'll fill that in as I rebuild this. So you can actually hide something inside of this. So it's almost like a giant cookie jar if you wanted to put cookies inside a giant Lego Link. Also, the sword on the back, which is of course the Master Sword, I made that detachable. So the sword is not super stable and there's no real way for Link to hold it as currently built, but I did feel like it was a nice feature to be able to pop on and off. Also, since the original Nintendo Legend of Zelda Link sprite didn't have a sword on his back, I felt like I should have it detachable. If you're a purist and don't want to have the sword there, it's easy to just cover that up with a regular brick and not have a sword here. Quick note about colors. So brown and green, when we're talking about Lego and Link, I chose for my model brown and green, as I refer to these, and most Lego fans would. I think the Lego company has slightly different names for those colors because they're super prevalent. They're not necessarily the exact color match for the original sprite. This 2.5D sculpture of the original Link sprite, I think, matches the colors as they looked on the TV a little bit better than this Amiibo, which kind of modernizes the colors a little bit. Either way, one of these two browns is probably a better color match. However, these are both pretty rare colors. This is the nougaty brown, which we've been seeing a lot of in recent years. And this is, I think, earth orange, which is used for turkeys and was used in a Harry Potter Privet Drive set way back in the day, which is what I have a lot of my pieces in it from. But it's still, there's not a lot of it. So if you've got a lot of those colors, by all means go for it, but most people are more likely to have brown or even dark brown if you want to go a little darker. As for greens, I use the main green. A lot of you might have more in lime because that's a much more recent color that's been pretty prevalent. I've stockpiled green over the years because I love it. So that's why I chose green. There's also this bright green color. I have a lot of it in these 2x2 jumper plates from the Minecraft sets, but there's not a lot of parts in that color. So this probably best matches this amiibo. Lime green probably better matches the kind of sprite version of Link. This green is probably what a lot of people think of as Link's green color because it more closely matches his outfits in other games. Just wanted to put it out there. There's other greens you could potentially use if you've got a really big Lego collection that's even bigger than mine. But for a lot of people, brown and green are probably your best bet for building something at this size. If you've watched a lot of my videos, you've probably heard me talk about how to make perfect cubes out of Lego before. I talk about it a lot in my How to Build Minecraft videos. But for those of you who aren't familiar, it is possible to make a perfect cube out of Lego pieces if you have a 2x2 brick, a 2x2 plate, and a 2x2 tile. So if you build something like this, it is a perfect cube. It's as tall and wide and long as a 2x2 brick is wide. This is also just the equivalent of 5 plate height things stacked up. This one has a stud on the top. This would be more of a Minecraft mode, of course. So yeah, just wanted to say that's how you make perfect cubes in Lego at this size. And that's what I chose to do for this model, is make each of the pixels or voxels, since they're three-dimensional, a perfect cube. Some places that means I've got 3 bricks with a tile because it's 2 voxels tall. You'll see as we go throughout, I dealt with this in a variety of ways throughout, but that's going to make it a lot harder to build than a lot of people who build video game sprites in Lego just use normal Lego blocks as if they were perfectly square, and they would just build things up like that, 1 brick for 1 brick, even if it's 2x2. And so those end up looking kind of squashed or stretched depending on how they do it a lot of the times. So I really wanted to have that precision of it being kind of pixel for pixel, voxel for voxel, 3-dimensional, cubic loveliness. All right, let's start building. Okay, so we're going to start by building Link's back foot, working in brown, starting with a 2x4 and a 4x6 plate, covering that up with a layer of brick. Doesn't have to be these exact pieces I'm using, anything to fill it in. And then we're going to cover that up with a layer of plate. So this is exactly the height that a 2x2 brick is wide. So this is kind of one whole voxel layer that is the very bottom of the foot. For the next layer up, everything is going to go like that and overhang over that hole there. And this will hang off the back, though it's not connected yet. So let's go ahead and connect that with this 2x4 plate, that 2x2 brick. And then this will be a layer of 2x6 bricks. This whole area is going to be totally hidden under the model and doesn't really need to connect to anything, so I'm just leaving it empty. Finish this layer off with 2x2 plate and a 2x2 tile. So this is the end of a voxel here, and this will be connected to other stuff that we're not looking at right now, whereas this continues up. This is going to be confusing throughout as different voxels just end randomly, but just stick with me. It'll make sense eventually. 2x6 and a 2x4, and finishing the top off with some plate in a 4x4 space and a 2x2 tile. So this is the back of the foot, that's the front. It'll all make sense later. Okay, now we're going to build Link's front foot. The footprint, pun intended, is again going to be a 4x6 and a 2x4 plate. And then for the next level, I'm going to build that up with brick, but just 1x brick instead of 2x brick, leaving the center hollow. I just wanted to show this because as you're building, you might be running out of big brick pieces. So when possible, do tricks like this to use 1x bricks in addition to 2x bricks. And then covering that up with another layer of plate. For me, that's another 4x6 and 2x4. Next level up, this 2x4 brick here can be any color you want. It's going to be totally hidden on the underneath side of the model, so it doesn't really matter. But it is nice for stability's sake. I'm using blue to represent whatever color you have. Next, fill in some plate in a 2x4 area there. Then do a 2x6 across. It's going to be a 2x4 plate worth of stuff hanging off the front. We'll connect that in a second. Do a 2x4 brick in brown here. Then a 2x6, which now we can connect that 2x4 plate below. And 2x4 brick. So we can see we're leaving a 2x2 space there. That's just to follow the shape of the foot as it is in the model. And then we're going to put another blue or whatever color brick there for stability's sake. And then we're going to fill in the top here. We want tile all around the corner up here. So that's 2x4 and 2x2 space. Then here, I'm not filling all of this space with tile. You could, I just like to have some connection points here for the upper level, but doesn't need to be full on, so feel free to fill in just a partial area. So there you have it, Link's feet. They look totally random, but I assure you they will start to make sense in a little bit. One thing that I did notice as I was making this is that his feet do have like the same footprint, even though they're in very different shapes. Not very different shapes, but it's not immediately apparent just from looking at these that they actually take up the same amount of space, at least on the very bottom there. But they do. Feet. Okay, so now let's start building the torso. So we're going to build kind of the, not quite bottom of the torso, but kind of the main connection point that everything will build up or down from. So these are two layers here. One is a layer of brick over here, and the other is a layer of plates and some tile over there. So you might want to try and go and find some of these pieces. The blue and orange pieces can be whatever. Even these pieces don't need to be exact, but all right. So I love these 8x16 bricks and 8x8 bricks. They're great that they come in green. They make a really strong foundation. If you don't have that, try to build something that's really long here. You could put some big long plates to kind of fill that brick space. But if you do have them, these are really great core pieces to build from. So I'm going to go ahead and start connecting some of these things here, and hopefully I don't confuse myself along the way. So I think this goes like that. That goes like that. So key connection we can build is this 6x8 plate, which is going to connect all this stuff over here, starting with these 1x10 pieces, or a 2x10 if you've got it, and this 2x2 down here. And then this 2x6 is going to stick out too. This 2x6 is blue, totally hidden. That 2x4 won't be connected yet. And then that all connects down to the bottom of the 8x16 brick. Do a 2x4 here to connect that. This 2x6 to connect, and that could just be a 2x4. Some 2x6s in brown. I'm using 2x6s here because I ran out of 2x4 plates because I used them a lot of other places in the build, so that's why these ended up by being 2x6s. Fill out this front with some tile. I had 1 2x2 and 4 1x1s by the time I got to this part. Okay, up here, this is all going to be tile, this 2x4 area. That's 2 2x2s. So I'm going to connect the 2x4 or 2 1x4s, 2x2 tile here, 2x2 tile. Going to put this 2x6 plate, though I think technically this will be pretty much all hidden, so you don't really need it to be green, but I like it that way. 2x6 plate here. Okay, so that's kind of that half. Then this will connect with a 2x2 tile. Connect these with some 1x4 plates. Just going to head and smush everything together a little bit so I can see what's going on. All right, so this big area here, going to take a 6x8 plate to start connecting a lot of things here. 2x2. These blue pieces, obviously you could kind of use whatever there, but this is kind of what that looks like for connecting to that 8x8 plate and connecting to our 8x16 brick, not plate. Next up, connect all of that down with a 2x8 plate, 2x2, 2x2, 2x2 tile down there. So 2x2 tiles all along the front there. Then a 2x6 plate. Pretty firmly connect a lot of that stuff. 2x6, 2x4, an orange 4x4 just to build some more connections. So yeah, kind of a random thing. I obviously left some random blank spots here. If you wanted this floor to look more even for when you're looking inside of this like a cookie jar, you could fill in those spots there. So now take this big thing you just built, flip it like that, and leave it there for a minute. We are now going to be building on the bottom of the thing we just built. Main thing we're going to do is put 2 layers of green brick around most of the edge. So over here, this is 2x10 by 2 tall conglomeration of bricks, some 2x2s on the bottom, some 1x10s on the top. That will fit over there. Then this is like 3 2x4s in a corner zigzag shape, except it's filled in with a bunch of 1x4s and 2x2s and whatever. It fills in this amount of space over here. We're going to skip that area for a second. Then we're going to fill in basically everything from here to here with 2 layers of perfectly green brick. So from here to here, just use whatever you've got at this point. I've used a lot of 1x4s in here, and like these pieces are great opportunities where you could leave pieces out or make them a different color because they'll be pretty much entirely hidden, unless you're looking at this upside down after you build it. Down here we'll do 2x4 and a 2x2, leaving just one 2x2 spot right there. Then we're going to fill in these spots with some 2x2s. This could also be a 2x4 if you've got it. Up here, fill this in with a 4x4. This contraption here, relatively interesting. So this is a layer of brick at the bottom, then 2 layers of plate, then a layer of brown plate, all filling up a 2x4 spot. So I've got 2 1x4 plates in brown on the top, then 2x2 plates in green, some 1x4 plates in green, and then that. So basically it needs to be 2 bricks tall, like so, except the very top layer of plate is brown, and that goes on the underside of those brown pieces there. Now for the exciting part. Okay, grab Link's feet from before. This one where we built the conveniently blue area. That blue area is going to fit right there behind that 4x4 plate. And you can see that 4x4 goes on the top of the brown area. So looking at it, you should only see brown tile, no brown plate. And then the back foot is going to fill in here. You can line up this 4x4 area with that kind of hole area. Connect it on. Now for like a normal front view of everything we just put together, so you can confirm everything's looking good. We've got a little bit of Link's belt starting to show up here. We've got some crazy colors going on there. This is the back foot. Here's like a view at the bottom of the feet so you can see that they look right. You'll have a little bit of brown bumpiness showing there, but you should have kind of like an L shape that's covered up with tile on the back. I've also got some tile spots around on the green part. So if you followed my instructions correctly and I made my instructions correctly, you should have something that looks like this at this point. And again, these are spots you could fill in with other plates if you want the inside to look nicer and more even, but totally unnecessary. Now we're going to build Link's belt buckle. So this will be slightly connected into the deeper part of the model, but pretty much standalone. For this bottom layer, some 2x4s in brown and green, and a lone 2x2 over there. Then some 2x4 plates in brown, or 2x4 plate stand-ins, 2x2 plates in brown, and some 2x2 tiles. Then 2 2x2 plates in green, like so. Then for the top layer, 2x6 in brown, in brick, plate, and tile. That's a nice little piece, and that connects on right here in the front. And just goes a little bit back so we have something to build up on for the next layer. Da, 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 da. Now we're going to start building up Link's left arm, aka his sword-wielding arm. But it's not going to look like much until we get through a lot more layers, but let's just start building some of these pieces. So over here, we're just going to put some brown 2x2 bricks, fill out a little corner there, and we'll go out and fill out that layer a little bit later. Then we're going to take a 4x4 and in tan and a 4x6 in brown. Going to connect those secretly with a tan 2x8, or just could be a 2x6 depending on what you've got. Then 2x4 and 2x6 outside, so from this side you can't tell that they're secretly connected on the inside. 2x2 there just to fill out the space. Then building on top of that, do a brick layer, 2x4-ish times 2, 2 2x6s. All of that connects right here. Continuing up here, we're going to put some 2x4 bricks across there. This will be a 2x6 brick going in, a 2x6 brick going back, This will be a 2x2 space that we'll leave that empty for now, fill that in later. On the outer edge, do a 2x4 plate and then 2x4 worth of tile, in this case 2 1x4s. Behind that, do a 2x2 plate in brown and a 2x2 tile in brown. And all the way back here, do another one of those 2x2 plates and 2x2 tiles. So we've got some weird stuff just hanging out over here, but it's a start. Okay, to start filling out the back here, 2x6 and 2x8 in green, line them up. Next layer, just build across that with whatever plates you've got. Some 1x4s, a 4x4, 2x2, whatever. Along the back here, you can fill this in with bricks. And then up here, you're gonna fill this in with plates for 2 levels. So some 2x6s there. And then tiles and plate for the top. So 2x2 tiles and a 2x2 plate. All of this fits in here on top of the shoe and around the corner. Okay, now we're gonna flip around back to the front because I'm just jumping all around. Take some 2x4 plates, layer on top of them some 2x2s and 2x4s to stabilize them. That goes on top of that. Next layer up, we're gonna put a 2x4 in tan going over and some 1x4s in green, or this could be a 2x4 if you've got it. On top of this part right here, we'll do a 2x2 plate and a 2x2 tile to end up that voxel there. I'm gonna quickly fill in a little bit over here, the 2x4 brick there, and then a 2x8 worth of stuff, 2 layers tall. So we'll start with a 2x8 and then do 1x8 and some 1x4s in brown. Filling in behind the belt buckle, do a layer of green plates. 2x4, 2x4, 2x2. Then the next layer, fill in 2x6 area there, a 2x4 heading backwards. On this side, we'll do a 2x2 plate with a 2x2 tile. Layer on top of this, we'll do 2x2, 2x2, 2x4. I was running out of 2x4 bricks here, so that's why I'm starting to use 2x2s. Cover this whole section with some of these 2x2 jumper plates. Minecraft sets are great sources of those. This is where part of the head's gonna connect, so I didn't want to have it be lots of connections, just a few. Okay, next section we're gonna do lots of bricks, 2x4 in green, 2x4s in tan here, 2x4 in tan, 2x4 in brown. On top of this, we're going to do 2x4 in green, connecting those 2 parts, 2x4 in tan, 2x4 in brown, though really this could be any color. That could be like a blue one right there. 2x2 in tan. Top of that, I'm going to do some 2x6 area in tile. I've got 2 1x6s in tan. Then some jumper plates. So 2x2 in tan. This one will make tan, though it'll be basically invisible. And 2x2 in green here. Okay, next levels. We're gonna take some brown 2x4, just one of them actually. And we're gonna do a green 2x4 and a green 2x4. Then across here, brown 2x6s, 2 of them. Then brown 2x2, green 2x4. This will be a 2x2 plate and a 2x2 tile in green on the back there. Moving forward here, this will be a green 2x4 with 2x2 of it covered up with tile. That connects here. This will be a 2x2 in brown with a 2x2 in tile right next to that. 2x6 brick in brown to connect the arm to the hand there. Another 2x6 in brown, but I'm going to hang some tile off of it so I remember where it goes. So 2x4 worth of tile there. This could really just be a 2x2. I just did that there for some stability. Now looking on the outside of the arm here, this is a 2x4 worth of brick with 2x4 worth of tile. And this is a 2x4 worth of brick, two 2x4s worth of plate, and a 2x4 worth of tile. So brick, 2 plates, tile, all 2x4. That fits into that spot there. So now we've got Link's left arm and hand, and we've basically done half of his torso and left the rest an empty spot. So let's start filling all of this in. All right, so now we're gonna build more of Link's belt and start on his right arm. So over here, we're gonna build some simple structures. This is 2x6, 2 plates plus a brick. And of course, you don't need to have 2x6 as you saw with my 2x3s. This is a 2x2 stack of a brick and 2 plates. It goes right there. This will be, all right, so 2x6 in brown, 2 levels of plate. 2 levels of plate in green 2x2, then use a green 2x4 brick to connect stuff, a brown 2x4 to go right there. Okay, next level starts to get tricky. I believe this all goes like so. So connect this 2x6 and these 3 2x4s in brown with a 2x8 plate. And then this 2x8 plate will connect that level forward to grab that 2x2. These 2x2 plates will go here. Next level will be 2x6 brick. This 2x2 plate stacks on top of this 2x2 plate in green, which aren't connected to anything. I'm just putting them where they are for memory's sake. Then 2x2 in brown, 2x2 in green. I think this could actually be any color. I think it's totally hidden, but I just did it in green when I was doing this. Brown 2x2, brown 2x6, brown 2x2, green 2x2, and a blue 2x2 because it's going to be totally hidden. So then this connects here, so the arm hangs over to. These blue ones go in here because they're going to be totally invisible for a while. And then this green piece goes all the way up front here. It's not going to be super visible once everything's in place, but does just fill out that spot for now. Small correction, this stack of 2x2 blues actually goes here, so there's a 2x2 gap there. This voxel, I must admit, is one of the small deviations I made from the Amiibo. Technically that's an empty space and it's green back here, but this was just easier for me as I was building to make it stable, and you can't really tell most of the time you're looking at that I put a voxel there that wasn't supposed to be. So hopefully my secret's safe with all of you thousands of viewers. Okay, now finishing around the back here, do a layer of brick, 2x2, some 2x4s. This 2x4 hangs over this hole there. Same with this one here. This one goes forward. And then this brown one is going to be a 2x6 sticking out that way. Next level, Do some green 2x4s. This will verge into the brown territory there. Then we'll do a 2x2 in brown and a 2x2 plate and 2x2 tile there in brown. Next level, another 2x4 in green. Then here, this is where we're going to attach the sword later. So if you want the sword to attach, do a 1x4 Technic brick or 2 1x2s. I had a 1x4 in green, so that's what I'm using. And then a 1x4 just regular brick. If you don't care about the sword being on the back, just make this a 2x4. Some more 2x4s all around. And then the next layer, we're going to do a lot of jumper plates and some tiles. So we'll do jumper plate, jumper plate, jumper plate, jumper plate, jumper plate, tile, jumper plate, tile, jumper plate, jumper plate. You don't need to make all of these jumper plates if you've got tile and you want to fill it in there. I was running out of tile, so that's why I had as many connection points, but the head doesn't need to be super well connected. You'll notice there's some just uncovered spots over there. That was because I kind of built it and then realized I didn't need to cover them. In theory, you could actually just not build this as much, like not use as much brick in those areas, but it's better connected this way. But if you do want to just cover that up a little bit, it's all interior, so it's not really going to be seen. So you could just use some 2x2 tiles of really any color. I've got a lot in dark tan, so I'm just using those here. You could try to make it match the other colors going on. But again, this is mostly going to be invisible stuff here, so save your relevant colors and use some arbitrary rainbow colors. Okay, building out the arm more. Going to use a bunch of 2x6 bricks in brown. One across the back there, 3 across here. Feel free to fill this area in if you feel like this brick is sadly unsupported, but it'll be fine, I promise. Another 2x2 in blue over there. Next level, I did a 1x6, 2x6, and 1x6 just to switch it up and interlock the pieces a little bit more. Over here, we're going to do 2x4 plate and tiles to top that off. Inside on that blue 2x2 area, I'm going to build up some green plates, 2x2. That'll make sense in a minute. Next level up, I'm going to do a 2x4 brown brick, then a 2x6, and then some 2x4s in green, finally connecting onto that whole little pillar we built from the inside. Okay, finishing off this part of the arm here, cover up this 2x4 area with brown tile. Ditto this area. Technically, you could just put this part brown and make this part green, but I just did this to better interconnect the arm with the body. 2x4 brick here. 2x4 worth of tiles. I'm using brown because I was running out of green tile, and again, it'll be pretty much invisible. Then a jumper plate or tile there. Yeah, the greenness and the brownness are overlapping. And then just to cover up the top of this, 2 2x4 plates or equivalent and 2x4 worth of tile. And that is the top bump of Link's arm there. So starting to like kind of look like something now that we've built a lot of it, torso-wise. Arms and hands and belts and stuff. That's what we built so far. We're gonna take a break from Link for a little bit to focus just on the shield, using a lot of tan and brown here. Starting with a 2x10 plate in tan, layer of brick on top of that. For me, it's a 2x6 and a 2x4, and another 2x10. Then the next section is going to be 2x14 worth, which is a 2x8 and a 2x6 in plate, and then 2x8 and 2x6 in brick, and then just to be different, a 2x10 and a 2x4 in brick. Then onto the brown section, it's going to start with 2x12, 2 layers of plate, then a layer of brick, 2x10 and some 1x2s for the brick layer. Next layer, going to do a 2x4 and a 2x6, and then tan 2x2 here. Ran out of 2x2s in tan, so I'm using some 1x2s here. And do a layer of brick. I'm using all 2x2s at this point because I was saving my 2x4s and 6s for the larger part of the body. Then we're going to take a 2x8 in tan, connect that through on the front there, and then line that up so the brown is 2 off this side from the tan. And that's going to connect through like that. Then this layer will be some plates, some 2x4s and 2x2s, or in my cases, I got a 2x4, some 1x2s, because I ran out of 2x2s, 2x4 that way, and then a corner plate and a 1x1, filling in for a 2x2. Also, if you've got some of those L-shaped plates like this, this is a good spot for them. All of this goes under that 2x8. Promise this will make sense later, but that is a little bit of the hand and the beginning of the shield. Continuing with the shield, 2x4 in tan, 2x4 in tan, same, and a 2x2. For the brown, we'll just fill up another layer of brick in 2x2. This would be a great place to use 1 wide bricks and 2 layers of it if you're running out of 2 wide bricks. Next level, we'll do a 2x2 in tan on the front. This big old 2x10 in tan on the back, which will help more firmly connect that cross piece in. 2x4. Then fill in another layer of brick in brown using 2x4 and 2x6. This layer will also go back 2x4, 2x2, 2x4, and 2x2, which doesn't have anything to connect to right now. And this will get covered up with a 2x4 plate and 2x4 worth of tiles, which in this case is 4 1x2s. And at this point, you can actually start to connect the shield that we've built so far to the arm that we've built so far. This 2x2 nub fits into that spot there. This brown piece, which isn't connected to anything, would go in that hole there. So you can do that if you want to build this on Link as we go forward. Okay, continuing on with the shield, 2x4 brick in tan. Then 2x4 plate, 2 layers of plate, and we'll actually go ahead and if you've got a 2x2, use it. I ran out, so I just put a corner plate and left that blank there. And a 2x6 across this way, 2x2 brick. Filling in this area here, do a 2x4 here, then do a 1x2, a 1x4, 2x6 brick here, and now we can finally connect that 2x2 brown under that 2x6 and also reconnect it with a 1x6 there. So that's a nice flat surface we're getting to now. 2x6 in tan here. Then going back here, we'll do a 2x2 in tan. This whole thing's a little unstable. We'll connect it with something sturdy in a minute. 2x6 in brown on the back here. 2x4 in brown. Can also cap off all of this with tile, so 2x4 worth or 2 1x4s. Ah, falling apart. 2x6 worth or 2 1x6s, as it were. And a little bit of tile here. This would be a 2x2 spot, but I've just got 4 1x1s. There's probably a sturdier way to connect all of this, but in order to have like the coloring on his arms and hand look right, this is how I ended up doing it. Feel free to adapt it to your needs though. Okay, next bit of shield here. 2x2 in brown over here. Nice big 2x6 plate in tan to start building the front of the cross there. A 2x4 brown plate. Now let's build this nice piece, which is going to reinforce a lot of what we've been working on. So this is a 2x8 brick in tan. I've already covered half of it up with tile because I know I'm going to do that, and I didn't want to forget by taking those pieces off. So that goes all the way through there, connecting from the beginning of the hand down to the front of the shield. So that should really stabilize a lot of what's going on there. And then this should all be tile back here now. Coming back to the shield, fill in this side with some brown brick. Do some 2x4s in tan to connect the two halves of the shield. 2x2 in tan and brown up here. And just to cover up the front a little bit more, do a 2x6 plate again in tan and 2x2s or a 2x4 or 2 1x4s in brown up there. So the front should be like 1 plate taller or 2 plate taller than the back of the shield right now. Okay, let's finish up the back of the shield. Do a big full layer of brick with whatever you've got. For me, that's a 2x10 and a 2x4. Next layer, do 2x10 centered here. Then on each side, we're going to build a little thing that's 2x2 plates, 2 of those tall. I ran out of 2x2s, so I'm using 1x2s at this point, and 2x2 tile, so 2 little doohickeys like that. 1 on each side. Then building up 2x10 plate, that much worth of brick, and that much worth of tile. So using some nice long 2x8s here, which feels very satisfying. Some 1x2s to cap off each side. All right, so that is now the shield all the way up the back. So go ahead and press everything together nice and tightly there, and then we'll just fill in the front here. Okay, finishing off the front of the shield, 2x2 in brown plate, 2x2 in tan, or in this case, corner plate and an empty hole. Do a layer of brick over here. This one should be a 2x4 because it's actually going to hang off into area that brown hasn't previously gone into. Next layer, nice big 2x8 plate in brown to connect all of that. 2x2 in tan. Then just using some 1x4s in brown here to fill in that 2x4 space. Next level, tile for brown on each side in 2x2. 2x6 plate going through the center there. Fill in this 2x2 space in tan using 1x2s. 2x2 in brown here. And then for the top layer, 2x10 plate fill it in with brick however you can, and then cover that up with tile however you can. Got some 2x6s, got some 1x6s and 1x4s that I'm using. Again, connect everything nice and tightly. And we are ready to block some Octorok shots. Okay, so several hours later, or however long that took, we have finally built the torso of Link in 8 bits in 3 dimensions. Look at it in its voxely glory. The shield is really fun. I like the big belt buckle, arm details. You can see when I rebuilt this for the video, I actually kept this space, emptied it out a little bit so there's more room in there, and made the bottom covered up so there's not a big gaping hole. So that means you can hide some stuff inside the torso. Sadly, it's not quite big enough to hide the 30th anniversary amiibo in there. Then we could have had like a Russian nesting dolls situation with Link, which would have been cute. I can fit this 2.5D pixel sculpture in there though. So, you know, throw in rupees or disposable swords, whatever you would hide inside a giant Link. Okay, so starting off Link's head, we're going to start with a giant 8x16 brick in green. Then back here, I'm going to take a 2x10 plate in green, cover it all up with tile. I'm using 1x1 because that's all I had left in green at this point. Then you're going to do that to connect a 2x4 brick to that 8x16 brick. Gonna line everything up so I don't forget where it goes. Now, a lot of the stuff for these first 2 levels is not going to be very well connected, but I'll try to connect some of it here. 2x4 brick to connect this 2x2 and 2x4 over here. These brown 2x4s are just going to go on that big 8x16. This 2x4 will hang off the back of that 2x4. This 2x4 gets a 2x2 brick and a 2x2 plate and 2x2 tile stacked on top of each other. It's just going to hang out there for a minute. This 2x4 brick is going to get this contraption, which is 2 2x4 plates, or in my case, some 1x4s, connected to 2 2x4 plates. So doohickey that looks like this, 3 plates tall, and hangs off the side there. Gonna do another one of those on the other side on this 2x4. Put a 2x2 here. Over here, we're going to put a 2x4 off of this 2x4, hanging into the middle of space. Here, we're going to take 2x4 and a 2x2 plate, connect those with a 2x4, and then a 2x2 tile. One of those to connect this corner area. Do the opposite for the other corner on the other side. And do another 2x4 brick over here, and cover up this 2x8 with 2x8 worth of brick and tan. So they're all kind of separate pieces right now, but we'll start connecting them soon. Next layer up, take this 8x16 brick again, our best friend in this build. Put 2 2x2 tiles in the corners. This is going to lay all across that, so let's carefully connect that piece, and that piece, and that hunk, and this thing, and that thing, and this thing, and this thing. And one thing I like to do just for stability's sake is put just some kind of blue brick in the middle between these 2 8x16 bricks. The exact positioning is not a huge concern, just kind of wherever feels right to you. Except, you know, don't make these connect in a way they're not supposed to. All right. So this is the resultant thing you should have. Again, the blue can kind of be wherever in the middle there, just for stability's sake, but in terms of where the green versus the brown is, this is the overall shape you want. Up front here, we're going to do some 2x4 plates in tan. Not fully connecting that front piece yet, but at least kind of hemming it in a little bit. Take some 2x4 bricks with a 2x2 tile on it. Do one on each side on those convenient little spots hanging out. Fill in this back area with green 2x2, 2x8 of some combination in brown, and green 2x2. So on this level, we're going to focus a little bit more on Link's mouth and face. So do a 2x6 brick this way, then some 2x4s going forward in tan, 2 browns and a tan. Another 2x6 brick there. Fill in these back areas with some 2x2s. Again, you could fill in some random plates in different colors under that if you want a little more support. Under this front area here, do a 2x4 in brown underneath, and fill in this 2x2 area on each side in tan. However you can. Still not connected, but starting to get his mouth. Next layer, we're going to finally connect the face to the rest of the face. Start with a 2x4 brown plate, some 2x2s or 2x2s replacements up in the front. Connect it all with some 1x6 plates in tan. Connect that whole thing on. Next, I'm going to take some big 6x6 plates and connect this whole section here, which is really nice and connected up now. Connections. Two by four blue support beam. 2x6 plate, 2x2 plate in green, another 2x6. Now some brown along the back. 4x4 and 4x4. Then green 2x4, green 2x4, green 2x4, and 2x2. Okay, next layer, let's cover up that mouth with a big old 2x8 brick. Put a blue support beam there, 2x4 if you like. Then some 2x4 tan bricks. Then we're gonna have some 2x4s headed back. And along the outside, some 2x8s. Another 2x8 on that side. 2x2s on those convenient little green spots on the side. Now we're going to do hair around the back, so all brown all the time. 2x4, 2x2, 2x, what is that, 10, 2x6. 2x2, and secret little orange, because I got tired of blue. Support one right back there. Just a few spots that we're going to take a 2x2 plate and tile. Again, doesn't need to be perfect. I'm going to do 4 of them right up at the front here. Boom, 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 boom. Now he's got a mouth. Mouth, 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 mouth. Welcome, welcome to the next layer of Link's face. Ho-ho! Don't know why I said it like that. Okay, 2x4 in tan up front. Now, when I originally built this, I just did some brown 2x8s here. This is for the bottom of his eyes. But then a little bit of brown shows through that corner crack there, and that bothers me. So I'm gonna show you an alternate way to build it. Take 2x8 tan plate, do 2 layers of that, then 1 layer of brown plate, and then stick that there, and then voila, the corner cracks will be tan or just not noticeable. Next layer back, well, this goes here, and this goes here, and that goes there, and that goes there, and that goes there. Let's do that one, and that, and that. For here, we're going to take a 2x6 plate, cover 2/3 of it up with tile or a 2x4 area. That's going to go right over there, and another one right over there. And then, yes, 2x4 plates on each side, and then just going to do a second level here real quick with 2x4 and 2x2. And 2x4 and 2x2. And now it's hair time. So brown all the way around, basically just another layer. Doesn't need to be fancy, just needs to be brown. Ooh, let's disregard what I said and make it a little fancier with our overlap. There we go. And another just orange support brick there. So you can start seeing Link's face coming to being. Get everything as nice and connected as possible, of course. Maybe hide those uglier bricks, face them inside. Sorry, ugly bricks. Just a little bit of his eyes starting to show up. All right, it's nose time. So take some 2x10 bricks or whatever you can get that's super long in tan and connect them all the way back to that blue connecting piece, and also put 2x4 worth of tile on the end. Just go ahead and do that. Do 2 of those. Got our long Pinocchio-like nose for Link. Take some 2x4 or a 4x4 or 4 1x4s, whatever. Fill in the bottom of the nose there. Connect it nice and tightly. Do another layer of brown for the eyes. Then some tan 2x4s. Do a tan 2x4 and some brown ones on the outside here, and some tan ones, and oh, another blue thing in the middle there. This is going to be a little weird. Take a 2x4, put a 2x2 plate on the bottom, hang it off the back like that. Do one on each side. Then do some brown back here. We're almost done with Link's hair here. And I'm taking this great old big 8x8 brick. I've got a 2x8 along the back, which is important. These 2x4s might be totally optional. I forget if they were actually important or not. So feel free to totally ignore those. But yeah, that sits on that orange support that we put in a while ago. Nose. Okay, let's start building the next level. Really get into ears here, even if they're not actually attached yet. 2x4 up front in tan, 2x8 brown plate. Fill in that. 2x8 tan brick. I'm gonna do 2 of these, which are 2x4s and 2x2s. I'm just getting ahead of myself in terms of levels, because otherwise those would have been floating in space. 2x2 in tan behind each of those flying doohickeys. Then we're going to do brown 2x4s in each of these spots. I think this floats in mid-air for a while. And this floats over here. So those are floaters for right now. And do some 2x4 brown plates. Finish off that level of hair, and a 2x8 green plate. That one is actually important. Unlike those, which again, could probably skip. Shortest level ever. Green 2x8 plate. Do another blue here. And then these 2x4s are going to grab the floating 2x4 on each side. So 2x4 back, 2x4 under. These 2x2s are still going to float for a minute, but just imagine them connected to something. All right, next layer, 2x4 green brick all the way in the back and to the sides. So there's a little bit of an overhang on each side. Then some green brick, again giving us a little bit of an overhang because we like that. And then let's do this brown 2x4 brick with a 2x2 plate and tile on top of it. That's gonna go right there, and another one of those on the other side. This is getting weird. I'm gonna put a 2x4 blue there, do another one there. Let's go ahead and do one there and there. And then, yeah, these brown 2x2s, they go up there. I know that for sure. Take a 2x4 brick in tan. Gonna really connect those ears firmly. This one, I've already got 2x2 tile on it. Don't worry about that too much, but you can if you want to. Still got those 2x2 hangers. Let's do the ears. Okay, let's do his right ear first, which is our left. That 2x2 floater actually goes there. Could have gone there for a long time. Oops. Then this 2x4 connects all of that nicely. Where does this go? This magically goes on the bottom of that and floats here for a second. And then that's connected by this 2x4 brick. Ears complete. Not really. Fill in this 2x2 spot with tile, because we had that starter there. Then a 2x4 plate. This is a 2x2 plate and 2x2 tile, or substitute. And then two 2x2 bricks plus a 2x2 tile. And we've got the top of a pointy ear. Doesn't it look magnificent? Magnificent ear! And now the other side. The floater that didn't need to float goes there. 2x4 connects that in. 2x2 brick and plate. They float there until this old brick comes to their rescue. Da 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 da. Then we can connect some tiles here. So I've got 1x4s on this side. Then we do a 2x4 plate, 2x2 plate and 2x2 tile. And then this 2x2 bricks, 2 tall, plus a 2x2 tile. Look at those ears. Point, 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 point. Okay, let's finish up some of that face here. 2x4 in tan. This is a 2x8 plate in green with 2x4s in green underneath to make up that 2x8 space. Then 3 2x4s in tan, or a 2x12 if it exists and you have it. Then some brown 2x4s connecting the hair into the head so it doesn't fall off. And a blue 2x4 up here for future support. Lovely. Okay, for the next lovely layer, gonna work on the front of his hair. 2x4 brick plus 2x2 plate plus 2x2 tile. Build 4 of those and make him go off the front here with some nice overhang over his lush green eyes, etc., etc. Blue 2x4 support just goes there. Okay, then we're going to take some 2x6s and 2x4s. So the 2x4s are going to stick out like this, and the 2x6s will go back like that. But first, we're just going to put some tan plate under there so it has a little more to connect to. Again, 2x2s if you have them. They're also kind of invisible at this point, so they don't even really need to be tan. So I did a 2x3 in a corner. And then take this 2x6 plate covered in 2x6 worth of tile and connect that 2x6 and 2x4 so they feel all fancy. And put another 2x4 support thereabouts. More hair. 2x4 brown. 2x4 blue support, some browns going backwards. This is a 2x6, a 2x4, and 2x4 worth of tile. Those are going on each side here. There's lots of opportunities where you could put bricks in there to support, but I always try to keep things this big as hollow as possible. This is 2x6 in whatever color of a plate and a 2x8 in whatever color of a brick. That goes there. These I did slightly differently on each side, even though the build is symmetrical. 2x2 plates, 2 of them, and this one is a 2x2, a 2x4, and a 2x2. So 2x2s go over there. Actually, I think they go in midair? No, yeah, they go there. And this piece goes here. Again, don't know why I made those things slightly different, even though they could have basically been the same, but let's go with it. Let's do some hat. 2x6 in green. That's a nice place for it. 2x4. Let's just build up this area over here. Another 2x4 brick. This is a 2x4 brick with some 2x2 tile and 2x2 plate, like that. This is a 2x2 brick with a 2x2 tile, like that. Fill that in with a 2x4 plate, and fill this in with 2x2 brick, 2x2 plate, 2x2 tile, aka a perfect little cube there. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, now let's do the mirror on the other side. 2x2, 2x4, 2x4. This 2x4 with some tile and plate. Isn't it great? Oh, I forgot something. This 2x4 with a plate and a brick goes there. This 2x2 with some tile, brick and tile goes like that. Brick, plate, tile in 2x2 goes up there. Looks weird. Take some 2x4s, put them along the bottom. Boop, boop. Put an orange 2x4 plate in there. Then take some 2x4s with 2x2 tiles hanging off. Connect them with a 2x8 plate underneath. Go like so. Now here comes the fun bit. So these are some long 2x10 bricks I've been saving. 2 of those connected with some tile in the back. That goes all the way from the orange support plate all the way to the back of the hat. And then put some 2x4 green bricks together, and those go under, and that's the signature little piece that hangs down at the back of Link's hat, which is super fun. Okay, let's do some more hat and hair now. So on this side, we're gonna do some 2x4s in green. 1, 2, 3. Then we're gonna take this 8x8 brick, put an orange or whatever color 2x6 there, just for stability. Green 2x8 along the back. This is gonna line up into this spot here. Nice and connected. Over here, do some 2x4s. And then remember how I didn't make this symmetrical, even though I could have. This will just be a green 2x2, and then a brown 2x4 in that area. And gonna take some 2x2 plates to fill in this side over here. Still not exactly the same, but close enough for now. Then we're gonna take some of our 2x10 bricks, 2x2 tile on the end of this one. Gonna connect on that support beam all the way up to the front of the hair. Same thing on the other side. These next ones, we're gonna go and lean out over the front by 2. And then we're gonna take some tile. I happen to have a 2x4 in brown, and then a 2x4 plate underneath. So we got that little bit of hair sticking up in the front. Fill in the back of the hat here, 2x4 brick and plate. Makes it even with our other layer here. Then a layer of plate, 2x4s, some 2x2s, and then a layer of tile, and some 1x4s, a 1x8, and some more 1x4s. Okay, for the next layer, fill in the back with some 2x4s in green, or whatever brick you've got at this point. Next, we're gonna do another 2x4, 2x2. Same thing on the other side. 4, 2x2. The outside, this is going to be a 2x6 plate with 2 2x2 tiles. All right, like that. Ditto on the opposite side. Looking like that. Next up, let's put a 2x4 plate here to restore some symmetry. That feels nice. Now for the hair. Gonna do some 2x4s. Actually, I think they go back like that, yeah. Another 2x4. Lots of 2x4s in brown. Moving on up, take a 2x4 brick covered in tile in green, or this could just be a big old 2x8 covered in tile. This is going to be 3 2x4s or 2x12, also covered in tile. Getting close to the top of the hat now. Here's a brick with 2 plates in 2x2, 2 of those. Put the sides here. Oh, there goes his ear. Spinning around to the front, do a layer of brick here, 2x4, sorry, layer of plate, another 2x4s, some 2x2s. And then on top of that, we'll do a layer of plate and tile. So some 2x4s that are plate and tile. And this is a 2x8 that's plate and tile. Take a brown 2x4 plate, 2x4 worth of plate in green, then a 2x2 brick in green, and a 2x2 tile in green. Build 2 of those. 1, 2. One goes here. Oh, that flew off. The other one goes here. I'm dropping things left and right. And then let's fill in these centers here with 2x4s, some 2x2s. And this one I'm already going to just attach some tile to. Do the same thing on the other side. Quick layer here, 2x8 plate. Oh, losing pieces. 2x10. 2x12 would be perfect, but I didn't have that, so 2x10 plus some 1x2s on the side here. And then fill in this brown area with brick. 2x2, 2x4, 2x4, 2x2. So close, just a little bit to go. Dun da da da, this is the last layer. Giant 8x8 brick. Fill that in so nicely. Some 2x2 bricks, and then layer of plate and tiles. So I've got a whole bunch of 2x4s that are plate plus tiles. So let's layer some of those along the back. 2x6 plate and tile. And 2x4s, plate and tile, up front. Ba, 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 da, da, da. Real quick, before we attach the head to the body, I definitely made a mistake on the head here. So take off this 2x4 and this 2x2 from the bottom, as well as this big long 2x10 worth of plate and tile we did, and switch them 2x4, 2x2, and 2x10 and plate like that. So now it should line up perfectly. Sorry about getting that wrong earlier. It's been difficult to rebuild this whole thing. But yes, now we have the head attached to the body. Whew. Okay, now we have Link in all of his glory, with a shield, belt buckle, cool eyes, hair, hat, ears, arms, holes in his back. All right, we're gonna build a sword for that. Let's build the sword. All right, let's build the sword, which in comparison to the rest of Link is really straightforward, all two-dimensional, no real 3D stuff going on. All right, start down here, white 2x4 brick, 2 of those, then a 2x6 brick, 2x2 plate hanging out underneath just to make the voxels perfect. 2x2 tile over there, and a 2x4 plate. Then a 2x6. This is a 2x2 plate and tile together. 2x4 brick, 2x6 brick, and a 2x2 tile. Plate. 2x2 tile, 2x4 plate, 2x6 plate. Now here's where it gets interesting, so we can connect the sword to his back. 1x6, 1x4 Technic, 1x2 brick, some Technic pins. Could actually be whatever color, they don't need to be black. You could do light gray in that case. 2x2 tile, 2x4 plate, 2x6 plate, 2x6 brick. Oh, here's where it starts to get interesting. Okay, 2x2 tile, 2x4 plate. Let's start building this blue part over here. So this is some 2x2 bricks, going to be connected by a 2x4 brick, then a 2x2 plate here, and
a 2x2 plate and tile. So that whole thing there is going to be chilling out here, ready to be connected, but nothing's going to connect it yet. 2x2 plate in white and blue, and then this medium blue is going to hang out on top of this, just chilling next to those, waiting to be connected. Then we'll do a layer of brick in white and blue, 2x2. Same thing with plates, white and blue, 2x2. Next level, we'll do brick in blue, then plate in medium blue. Do a medium blue brick down on our hanging out piece. Starting to get, ooh, now we can connect it. 2x4 brick in medium blue. So this sword definitely is not the most stable thing up here, but it is connected. Then we're gonna do a 2x2 brick in blue going up. Take this 2x4 brick covered with tiles, go out, and this 2x2 plate goes underneath there. So starting to get the sword really coming together here. Just a quick note on this sword. This is obviously made to look like the Master Sword, though the original Link doesn't really get a sword that's blue and white. I guess he gets like a white sword at the end. What is that called? The Magic Sword, I think. It wasn't called the Master Sword in the original Zelda. Next level, 2x2 tile in medium blue and 2x2 plate in medium blue. Then hanging out over here is going to be some 2x2 bricks in blue, but we'll put a plate here next to where they're hanging out. Connect them all with a 2x4 brick. Level here is going to be 2x2 tile and plate, and we'll do a last little L shape here for medium blue. So start out with plate 2x2, then do a 2x4 brick covered in tile in medium blue, and then just some 2x2 bricks hanging down the back here. So yeah, this sword is not really the most stable thing, so I wouldn't suggest trying to fight a monster with it. Though, since this was a Breath of the Wild tribute, me building this, the fact that the sword is super flimsy and falls apart is actually really appropriate, since the weapons in that game fall apart like after 2 hits. Okay, the sword. Da-na-na-na. All right, now the moment we've been waiting for. Attach the sword to Link's back. I struggled when I was first building this sword part, and it fell apart. I struggled to get it to line up perfectly so that the voxels all were at the same level for the sword and Link. So positioning this Technic piece in his back was tricky. It also caused me to realize I had totally miscalculated certain parts of Link when I was first building him. So it ended up being a good thing that I made the sword. But yeah, now we can finally see Link in all of his 8-bit 3-dimensional glory. As I said, this is definitely one of the largest Lego builds I've ever done. So thank you for sticking with me through this video, probably the longest one I've ever uploaded. And hope you enjoyed seeing how to build Link.
Thanks for watching my video. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to Brick 101, and check out all my other video game how to build videos.